So under the code, it's for everything with on the site, landscaping, sewer, everything besides the elevation of the building is how it's defined under the code.
So the taxpayers are going to be borrowing money to do the outside landscaping for $1.7 million?
Well, it's beyond just the landscaping, but there's a lot of costs in regard to the construction of this building, like the different infrastructure which exists on the site beyond landscaping that will come in at a larger than $1.75 million, and then we'll reimburse.
And we'll reimburse them, the developer?
Yes, the developer lays out the money under this program, and we reimburse is how it's structured.
So again, we're subsidizing developer.
We're restricting units to be affordable for a certain amount of years by putting this money
But
in.
we're subsidizing it.
We're restricting units to be affordable by putting
And
this
this is
money
the same place we spent $1.2 million for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Wyandanch.
What would be the consequence of not passing this bill?
I don't believe the project would be able to come to fruition without the county's funding.
Correct. So if this funding was not approved, the development would fail. We could not move forward. And
So your company has also made an investment into this project.
we have made a substantial investment in
Right.
Wyandanch Rising to
Right.
date, over $8 million of equity between
But when you
the first
projected
two
out the
buildings.
costs of completing the project by your company, one of the things that you were counting on or included in your projections was this type of funding from the county.
That's correct.
Why wouldn't you consider obtaining the funding from another source?
We have.
Just This
I-
funding would not be repaid to the county. This is the county's contribution, part of its contribution.
So this is structured as a loan that, correct, will be forgiven after the 30-year regulatory period is expired.
All right, so in effect, it'll never be paid back.
So,
Yeah.
this is a 40-acre project, as you know. This is the third building of what we hope to be many. And given where the market is, the project cannot support the traditional private funding sources that many others
It's the
can.
only way this project gets built.
Correct.
It needs to be subsidized.
At this stage, yes. Sure.
Right.
The first two buildings, we have a market rate component.
Yep.
And in this building, in exchange for the funding, we're capping the rents so that they'll be restricted in this building, but there's a small percentage that's unrestricted in the other two.
How many units are there now in the two buildings?
There's 177 units between the
177
two.
177 units. And you guys invested $8 million of your own money.
Correct.
That's $45,000 a unit. So the government subsidized the construction for the remainder. So you'll be collecting rent on a $45,000 investment for the next 30, 40 years. And your company has invested $45,000, and the taxpayers of this county, this state, and the federal government have invested the rest, which is how much? Put in.
I don't have those figures on hand right now.
It's a lot of money. And as far as I know, is the county getting any of the rent, or the rent's paid to your company?
So first, I'd like to point...
Does the
Sure.
county get the rent, or does Albanese Organization get the rent?
I can confirm that the county receives no rental income from this property.
That's my point. So to ask, I'm all for trying to do the right thing, but this is far and away out of bounds. Didn't the county give you the land, or the town give you the land?
The land is purchased after the building is completed. Right now, we've entered into a development lease with the town, and then fee title is
So you'll ultimately
paid when
get
we
possession of the
complete.
property.
Correct.
Can you tell me who Russell Albanese is?
That's my father.
I put a bill in a while ago about campaign finance, and I just pulled it up, and I have a page right here with over $12,000 of campaign contributions to the Babylon Democratic Committee, Suffolk Democratic Committee, Steve Ballone, and some Republicans mixed in. This is troubling to me that, we are, total, I don't know if I haven't analyzed the whole thing, I think it's in excess of $165,000 in campaign contributions. This is troubling, that you're coming to us for subsidies and then the money comes back. But this is the ultimate problem of why it's so expensive to live here on this island. Because I also looked up, there's 264 pending foreclosures or total foreclosures within a 1-mile circle of this development. Now, people are going to move out of those, and I'm sure you got some kind of tax break on your real estate tax. So everyone going to school in that neighborhood is going to have to pay higher taxes, and guess what? There'll even be more foreclosures. There are unintended consequences with these type of things that this body is not taking into consideration. So there's much deeper problems here than this $1 million and the $1 million for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This whole thing stinks. The whole system stinks.